Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman back with another game. We've got Rast4 here playing a split between Shattered Peaks and Sundered Lands, and Kaionluong. I'm just gonna call him Ironlung. Yeah, that sounds right. I'm gonna call him Ironlung because that's easier to say. And yeah, he's playing a split between Underdepths and Savage Tundra. Probably monks by the look of this. And he's got Rost has two head shrinkers out, and they're both going towards mid. All right. But yeah, so I've got a bunch of Rost games already, but I do not have an Iron Lung game yet. So we'll see how he performs under the threat of execution by YouTube comments. So Rast4, meanwhile, is he's living his best life, I guess. He's got Scouring Jasper here deployed in the font, and refuses to go top and grab his. He could have done it, like with this head shrinker. I don't know what he's thinking, but I guess double head shrinker is shrinking his own head in his own way. So it's a hit onto the current pre no condo. And what was that stealth deploy that we missed? Nephri Informant. All right. So presumably Nephri Informant is deployed. Well, it's like he could have deployed it here and then sent it mid, right, to contest, and then got his font with Swift. But I'm thinking he might have actually deployed it to go for his side font and keep Swift in mid. Because I mean, the Scouring Jasper would just like detect the informant right away. Also, the head shrinkers don't have detection. Okay, so never mind. But yeah, the Jasper would find it right away. But actually, he sacrifices his informant for the Nora from his side font. Probably worth it. I mean, the head shrinkers can't really kill the... Oh, alright, well, never mind. Iron Lung actually gave up mid entirely. Not wanting the Jasper to find his informant. So he's going to be at a little bit of a deficit here going forward. Gives control of mid to Rost. We'll see what Rost does to take advantage of this. I'm assuming something will come out. No, he does not deploy anything. That's actually... I probably should have seen that coming, right? Because he deployed Jasper last turn. That's 35. But I mean, he has the half SP bonus from these two champions. He really didn't have the Nora for anything. It's a little bit odd. Like, not even like a Canaan Corpse Eater or whatever those things are called for 50 Nora. I have no idea what deck he's playing. I have not played against Rost in a bit, but double head shrinker makes me think, I don't know, maybe some weird, not a knockback deck. I have no idea. I'm just going to wait, and we're just going to wait and see. We're going to see what Rost has up his sleeve. But still no contest here from Iron Lung, and he is going to be playing it just as slowly. Now this turn, Rost, you better deploy it mid. I swear to God, if you do some weird spell spam nonsense instead, I'm going to shit. I will literally be pooping my pants if you do not deploy it mid. So please deploy it mid now. I do not want... Okay, thank God. Okay, so Sandstalker Lord comes down at mid. And Sandstalker Lord, really? Yeah, so that just makes things a little more confusing. And what in the hell just... Okay, so he vertical pushed the Swift Current. An equally head-scratching play. I mean, Sandstalker Lord was probably fine. Like, you didn't really need to do that, but okay. He shrinks the Farron Master down, so now it's even tinier than before. It was already a rat. Now it's like a little bug. Devolved from rat to bug. So we've got Tiny Master. He could still contest. He'd dodge one hit with no condo, but then he would probably die immediately after. Monks are an interesting deck. They're kind of a really finicky deck too. Like you need a lot of positional awareness and a lot of micromanaging ability to play this deck well. It's probably one of the hardest. I don't want to say it's hard because like no condo is a brain dead ability, but it's definitely difficult to play to its maximum potential. But then again, its skill floor is also fairly low, so you never know. Iron Lung here, still on the defensive. Sandstalker Lord could potentially contest here, but we still don't know where the informant is. So maybe it's sitting like right here in the way, you know. blocking Sandstalker Lord off. If Sandstalker Lord here does get greedy and decides to run into the informant, that might end up being a kill. Like Gale Force is always a possibility. There's stuff like, Retribution, I don't know, Borgas Bomb, but he could he'd actually Gale Force into Borgas. Oh, yep, I called it. There's the informant, sitting right in the way of that Lord. So can Rost do something about this? He can shrink with his other head shrinker before these attacks, but no, he decides not to. He's going to get another hit here, though, with this one, and another hit with the Sandstalker Lord. Sandstalker Lord, interestingly, doesn't have the Desert Front. He has Trail instead, which for some reason is a more expensive upgrade. I think it's like 3 Nora more expensive than Desert Front. Maybe not that much, but it is more expensive. It does grant him permanent Sand Striker, pretty much. But I think Desert Front is just flat out better, at least in sand decks. I mean, this deck from Rost is most definitely not a sand deck. But yeah, I'd still probably prioritize Desert Front, just to make him cheap. But yeah, Farron Master will be unshrunk next turn, so maybe we'll see a kill here after that Swift Current comes back. I don't know, man. Iron Lung's kind of screwed here, yeah, especially with the slum market coming down for assault, so Nephari Informant can't even run away. And Swift Current actually lands in a decent position, able to get a hit off, pull everybody closer. And ooh, a Misshapen Boghopper. I like this guy. I think this guy is really underrated. Like in full faction Underdepths, when you take Pounce on this thing, and it has multi-attack and soul tap, it can just be a huge glass cannon. Like you pounce in, get a hit with multi-attack, and that's like 30 damage right there. So it's, I don't know, I like it. It's kind of nice. So Farron Master benefits from all the Swift Current pulling. And see, this is what I mean. Like monks, you really can't underestimate monks. Swift Current just gave that Farron Master 15 damage. Yeah, 15 damage. And multi-attack. It gave it multi-attack. And yeah, so there goes the Sandstalker Lord just like that. And Iron Lung should be good to leap in here. Yep. Engaging both of these head shrinkers. Cackle proving to be a minimal deterrent here. But yeah, I mean, look at all this shit. What it has. Okay, so what is with the double multi-attack? What are we missing? Gains a rank of multi-attack, so it has 5 ranks of multi-attack, I guess. Whatever. So Farron Master is going to get a couple hits here. You can get a second. I think I probably would have. I don't know. I might have been tempted to save AP for no condo, but he actually prices a victory to get the kill on that head shrinker, and just like that, I mean, Iron Lung is back into this game. Rost kind of throwing his lead by some very, I guess, questionable plays, and damn, Iron Lung takes the game just like that. So, should we go for a second? That was kind of a quick one. 9 minutes. Maybe we'll see if we can catch him on the backflip. Go for maybe a rematch game. I don't like doing this usually because I think I mentioned this before. It kind of feels unprofessional to do 2 games in one video for some reason. But we'll see. Iron Lung was desperate to have Tiny versus Vampiro. Should we wait? Nah, we're just gonna. It's rare that I get a Tinydragon game. We're gonna jump into this one. See what Tiny's up to these days. I haven't gotten a game of his since I've been back, so we will see. Vampiro playing full faction Sundered Lands, and Tiny playing Bob Ruins. It's interesting how there's been sort of a shift in personalities. Sun Tungven, historically the Barbarian player, is now playing Hijmak's deck, and Tiny is playing Sun Tungven's deck, and I guess Hijmak now has to play Tinydragon's deck, whatever that might be. Tinydragon runs pretty much whatever the hell he wants. So it would be fun to see that, though. Hijmak taking on Tinydragon's role for a while. His role, but certainly not his skill level. And what was that? Dragonic Sacrifice. Alright, so that Bolter is safe for the turn. I guess Tiny's just going to grab his Fawn and then contest, and then Vampiro probably going to do the same with his Bolter. And well, we didn't really see what all that damage is about. Instill Panic. And still panic, forcing the bolter out of the font? Okay. I'll let you cook. What have you got here, Tiny? That Instill Panic was kind of weird. Like, he moved the bolter away when it didn't really accomplish anything. I mean, Vampiro still got his bottom font. I mean, I guess technically it saved like a hit or two on the Exemplar, but other than that, not really seeing the logic there. Maybe I'm just too out of it. Tiny's plays have moved beyond me. There's a sapping beam even on the unmutated Drake, taking away its AP generating ability for the next turn. There it goes, and then Skybreak Dragon. Skybreak Dragon is very nice to see. It used to be, well, it had a brief period where it was probably the best split champion in the game, when it could take Lava Storm. Like its Lava Storm build was like really cheap, and it had like Flame Armor and these great stats as well. But now it's very much more reasonable. I think it actually had two AoE abilities. It had Lava Storm and Avalanche for like under 80 Nora, and it was crazy. But now it's pretty nice. There's one nice AoE ability, and then Evasive 2 in Sundered Lands. But Tiny gonna try and make the most of that sapping beam here. Can't quite finish off the Drake. I wouldn't be surprised to see him burn another spell on it. Yep, there's a Bane Beam. A red Bane Blast. So Tiny doing a little bit of flexing here on us poor mortals that don't own limited runes. Is he going to get the globe too? He should probably get that globe, right? Although it will put him in barrage range, I'm assuming. I'm not sure if barrage is on cooldown. I kind of missed the first few minutes of the game. But he does get the globe. Try and refund some of that spell Nora. Tiny is usually a pretty aggressive player, at least in the early game. If the early game goes poorly, then he can fall back and play defensive if he wants. But if you're ever playing against Tiny, don't be surprised to see him burn several spells early just to secure a lead. But which, I mean, he kind of has. Like, he has Favor Nomad in the back, generating some Nora for him off of those spells with Favor. And then, of course, Essence Capture to make up for that as well. But down comes the lava, and he actually had enough Nora for Inquisitor Magnus as well. I'm guessing that was just after getting the globe, because otherwise he probably should have dropped Magnus first for the adaptive. But yeah, it was the globe that made the difference there, I would say. But actually, Bolter puts down a relic, well, his crossbow, which will finish off that Exemplar. Snogby, all right, unnecessary, but he does deploy it. I don't know, I think I would have saved the Snogby there, to be honest. Like, the Exemplar was dead to the lava plus the crossbow, and I think saving the Snogby for a relevant, like where, basically for a turn where the Distract would be relevant would be better. But I mean, you know, having Snogby in play is always pretty good. He took Sonic Aura 1, huh. I've never seen a Snogby without Aura 3. See how this goes, I suppose. Aura 1 is just kind of bad. I mean, it's 2 damage. Like, who cares? But it is the cheapest path for a Snogby to take. Now, Magnus in the font, paralytic feedback, going to do some work against the Bolter, which does have its barrage on cooldown. I would be very surprised if the Skybreak Dragon ran in here, because I mean he's just going to lose that 2v1, and then Squire for the action potion as well. Probably make... Nah, I don't think he could get a triple tap, but he will be able to get some nice follow-up. So Snogby, yeah, he shouldn't really overextend for that globe either. Bolter's kind of in a precarious position, because 2 hits from that Nomad will be enough. Finish that off, I would think, yeah. After a Nomad intensify or escalates one more time, it'll have 16, and 16 versus, 28 HP minus 14, that's a perfect kill. But actually, Bolter paralyzes. Okay, well, Bolter paralyzes itself and kills itself, basically, after hitting Magnus there. Because now Carrier Squire is just going to give an action potion to the Nomad, and 16 damage, 2 hits, more than enough to kill. And I guess Magnus could probably get a nice punish, right, onto that Skybreak. He actually does a forced transfusion onto Snogby. Okay, so that's all right. I see what you're going for there, Vampiro. Saps the AP so that and then engages so that Nomad can't get that double tap. He takes 3 to disengage and then he gains 4, so we'll only have 7 to work with. And then Skybreak cutting down on Tiny's Nora. Tiny's kind of like after that play, Tiny's kind of in a bad place. He normally would have been able to get that kill. On, well, I guess he still can he still get the kill with Magnus is the question. 16 and then 9. Nope, he'd be short. So yeah, I'd probably move. It's tough because like you can use Magnus with Punish to take advantage of the Paralyze on the next turn, but then I mean you're overextending with the Magnus, and your Skybreak Dragon here is just gonna make a mess out of your top font. So it's tough to say. Very tricky to play in Tiny's position. Vampiro used to be he used to be kind of a, well, there was no polite way to say it. He used to be terrible, basically. He used to be, I remember way back in the day, he used to be probably one of the easiest players, for me personally at least, to beat. But he's evolved into kind of a decent player. Double and Still Panic from Tiny, wow. Now normally that's a spell I would only run one of, but Tiny, wait. What? You're hitting the crossbow, Tiny? Alright, I mean, he kills the crossbow instead of the bolter. That's an interesting play. I'm not sure what he was thinking there. I keep thinking that has to be a misclick, right? Like, there's no way he doesn't kill the bolter there, right? Instead, he has to do a Mark of Redemption on Magnus just to finish that off. But okay, well, I guess that crossbow, was that crossbow really going to be the difference maker here? Like, after the Instill Panic, like, Snogby is kind of neutered. And, I mean, he still has that Skybreak Dragon to deal with. But, yeah, I feel like that was kind of a mistake from Tiny. But, yeah, Skybreak Dragon in the font. I'm guessing Tiny's just going to ignore this thing. Like, he doesn't really seem concerned about his top font. Ooh, a Draxar Knight. Interesting. I had yet to see this guy in play since his buff. He seems like a pretty decent grunt now for Draxar. He's got Essence Capture, which is nice with Fury, like violent stacking and everything. Still has regen. Vampiro has gone with Restrict as an upgrade, so I'm assuming he's not running very many equips. Tiny currently has 0 equips, and he's about to be able to have none once Restrict gets in there. Yeah, ready. I mean, he's 8 speed with that build, so yeah, he's pretty nice. I like him. I'd probably go Fear. Like, I don't know, I'm not sure which upgrade line Fear is on, but I think having Fear in the 1v1s makes a pretty big difference. Tiny does a, what was that, Pride of Sarnghaber to give, oh yeah, Carrier Squire is a Barbarian too, I didn't even realize. So he gets Resolute, protection from melee, and then Assault. the ranged favored Nomad with Assault, assaulting Snogby. Very nice. And then Snogby pulls everybody in. That actually pulls the Squire out of the font, so Skybreak is going to try and block, or maybe he'll just get 2 hits. Actually, oh yeah, that really hurts, actually, because that completely nullifies the Resolute defensive ability. So Fascinate kind of screwing Tiny over there. Because normally, like, Skybreak wouldn't have been able to get 2 hits, but Skybreak with 1 to 2 range just gets around Resolute now because of that Fascinate. I'm not sure. I think Tiny must have forgotten about that, right? Is this actually Tinydragon that's playing? Is this Tinydragon's little brother playing on an alt or something? No, it seems like maybe Tiny has lost some of his touch. But yeah, Snogby taking some beats. And yeah, that Magnus is basically all he's got. I mean, he's got the Nomad escalating still. And, no, like, Tiny doesn't have any fallout. Like, he's got no reinforcements coming. Like, that font is very clearly Vampiro's. And, you know, Draxar Knight, also not something to be ignored. Yeah, Vampiro's just going to keep deploying. A Skywing Sonic Bolt, too. I'm kind of liking Vampiro's champion choices. I'm not going to lie. Skywing Sonic Bolt, another champion you don't really see much of. I think he's just really expensive, like, to be honest. Like, if you're going to spend 80 plus Nora on a champion like that, on a champion in Sundered Lands, I'd probably go like Vindrax, Akakios, you know, Valdak. basically a champion with more impact. Like, Sonic Bolt doesn't have great damage. His tankiness is just okay. But, I mean, you know, he's fast. You know, he has some free relocation. But I think more often than not, homing sense is kind of a downside more than anything else, because you can't, like, there's nothing you can do to stop it, right? You have to engage. And when you have to engage when you're not ready to, like, it's kind of like you're handing over your agency to your opponent, basically. And moving in when you don't really want to. But free engage plus Call of the Hunter can potentially come in handy. So there's the Macadamize from Tiny, allowing that favored nomad to walk into the font. He could have done that anyway, but I guess he needed the mobility to be able to finish Snogby off there. So Tiny not out of it, managing to fight off Vampiro pretty handily here. Even down a font too. Tiny kind of relying on spells quite a lot this game. And wow, speaking of spells, Hammer Strike on the Skybreak. I mean, he's got the champs for it. He's got Adaptive Magnus. He's got favored nomad. And then, yeah, Vampiro kind of, I don't know, like if I were Vampiro in this position, he probably, I mean, Dragon God Staff wouldn't really do anything because he can't kill Inquisitor Magnus through scale armor. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So he's got to get to that Nomad. Like, Nomad is the real threat here. But, ooh, the Enslave coming down. So Nomad going to get one hit. Will paralyze the Nomad for the following turn. And this is nice because Restrict here means that Tiny can't use like Vial of Holy Water or Soul Reeve, Soul Reaver to cleanse the Nomad. So you basically have to rely on like damaging. I guess Tiny could like Earthquake his own champion, but I mean he'd lose all his AP doing that, so it wouldn't make a difference. I still don't see Vampiro getting the kill, but he did kind of neutralize the Nomad that way, taking advantage of Tiny's own paralytic feedback. So nice bit of counterplay there. And I guess Draxar Knight, he could like move in to cut off the Nomad's retreat. And then he'll gain 2 AP as well from Ready. So he'll be able to double tap on the following turn. Now, Tiny obviously can't put up a Resolute this turn because he's paralyzed. So that Nomad should be dead. And another Instill Panic, this time on the Sonic Bolt. Really, on the Sonic Bolt instead of like the Draxar Knight? I'm guessing he has, he's going to engage here with Magnus and give up mid. Yeah, so he Instill Panicked the Sonic Bolt out of the font so that the Magnus leaving the font wouldn't hand it over to Vampiro. So I guess, I mean, you know, Skybreak is kind of, he's healing off of Magnus's attacks due to Acolyte. I'd still give the advantage to Vampiro here, to be honest. I mean, that was a really nice Enslave play. He's got the Nomad on the ropes. Magnus is down to half HP, and that the mark is gone. So, and man, Tiny doing another Hammer Strike. This is literally just Tiny dragging and dropping spells. Tiny playing spells the game. But, you know, another 2, I mean, he's getting favor off all of these, so they're cheap. And a Bane Beam. Where is he taking this Nora from? Bro just cast like 3 spells on, you know, multiple turns back to back, and he's still having the Nora to do this kind of shit. It's crazy. So Skybreak Dragon goes down, and that's the power of favor, I guess. Nomad hasn't even gotten that many attacks. It's just Tiny having Nora for spells. And 2 champions to benefit from them. So unfortunately that kind of fizzles Vampiro's advance. I mean, Draxar Knight is kind of overextended now. Vampiro doing the right thing, just keeping the deploys rolling. Still not out of the game, to be honest. Like, he's got Tiny on 2 champs, and he has mid-font. Magnus can't really, like, Magnus has to make the choice here, right, between contesting mid and helping out his Nomad companion. I mean, these two would definitely get down and dirty. I mean, come on, like the Magnus off in Maljara for forever and a day. Nomad feeling frustrated at home. Magnus comes back and is like, "Surprise, honey! I brought you 100 Kanan pelts as a wedding present." And yeah, that's the fan fiction that you guys can come up with on your own time. But yeah, anyway, so Nomad actually being the one to contest here. I don't know. Homing sense is really going to be a bitch here to deal with. Like, The Nomad does still have mobility from the Macadamize, but Enigma is pretty safe. And yeah, see, this is the thing with the Sonic Bolt. His damage kind of sucks, and his utility is not enough to justify the cost, in my opinion. I think if Oblivion Shield were cheaper and you could take that upgrade without making him like 90 Nora, he'd be fine. But yeah, I don't think I'd run this normally in Sundered Lands. But I like the pick. I like it as like a pocket pick that you don't get to see too much. Yeah, this is still a pretty good game. Tiny, just doing the spell thing. Why did that? Oh yeah, Dragonic Sacrifice. I forgot Vampiro cast that earlier. Ooh, finally, Tiny actually manages to squeeze in a deploy. Priest of Eldak. Not really a combat champion, but it does keep his others in the fight. Yeah, I mean, that Magnus, even after all the punishment it's received, it's still on like 60 HP from all the spells. Yeah, but I don't really see Vampiro getting a kill here. I mean, he could get, well, actually no, yeah, the Instill Panic wore off. He actually does a quickening on the Knight. Okay, well, he knows what he wants. He's going for that Magnus kill. Can get 2 more with Bolt, but that's still not enough. Like, Enigma is out of range. If I were going to quickening, I would totally quickening the Sonic Bolt, right? I mean, you totally have the kill there with 2 hits. I mean, sorry, 3 hits with the Sonic Bolt and then a hit from the Enigma. But he actually double quickenings the Draxar Knight, giving Tiny a taste of his own medicine with the spell spam. And yeah, Sonic Bolt can now just walk in for 2 hits, but he's still 1 damage short. He's going to relocate ally though, and yeah, Enigma can just... no, but then that will take away his ability to double tap. I don't know, I feel like this is if he doesn't get this kill, that's just terrible. I mean, Tiny would be super ahead then, but looks like he is going to get it. That's actually a perfect kill from the Sonic Bolt. 2 defense, 12 damage, so yep. So nicely done there by Vampiro. It did take double quickening, but you know, or no, double quicken. But Vampiro actually manages to take a game off Tiny with that play. So very nicely done to both players, and we'll see everyone in the next one.